Good evening, everyone. This is Mike Patello. I'm live from my home office here in Bradenton, Florida. And yes, I do have a hat on that says Make America Healthy Again. Not a political statement. To me, just common sense. I want my family to be healthy. I want my friends to be healthy. I want this country to be healthy. And I don't care if you're not in America, if you're our friends from Canada or the UK watching the replay. We want everybody to be healthy. And I think that there's this movement around the world where people are starting to see and look for kind of that one thing that they can implement into their daily lives and make a big difference in their family's life. And I know for me, Immunical has just been a life changer. We were over at Stephanie's house a little bit earlier today, and meeting with some people. It was really cool just to hear their stories from different perspectives, and sharing what products they were taking with the Immunical line. And there's so many combinations of these body shots that you can create, that when you start to hear different stories from around the country, from around the city, from around the different states, and then around the world, and you see that this is a company for the last 28 years has been investing not only a massive amount of time, a massive amount of resources, but a massive amount of money, really finding and fine tuning the product that can make a massive difference in people's lives. And when I say the one thing, I don't think there's a silver bullet. There's not one thing that fixes everything for your health. But in my research, early on when I was first looking for something to add to my life that could really make this huge kind of umbrella over my body, so to speak, without living in a bubble, glutathione just kept coming up. And it kept coming up like in different ways, right? You see it in liposomal form, you see it in um, uh, you see it in lotion form, you'd see it in liquid form, you'd see it in IV form, you'd see it in all these different forms, but there wasn't ever science behind it. So then when Immunical came into my life, and when I started talking to Mauricio about the science, what was very interesting was just seeing the difference in when you can make your body make its own glutathione, kind of flip on the switch. Now, none of us are on here. We're not doctors. We're not making health claims. I'm sure not a doctor, but I've been in health and nutrition for 25 years. And a thing or two about, different ingredients and different products that you've seen and that you've heard and that you've researched. So when I started seeing glutathione, it intrigued me based on what I saw. But then once I realized there's a big difference in glutathione supplemental, like whether you're putting it in through a capsule or an IV or liposomal, where there's not much, if any, research that actually helps your body increase its own glutathione. And then the research that goes into Immunical, to where you take one packet a day at a minimum, and if you want to add boosters to it, you can, to feel great or get your organic energy. And that flips on the switch. All of a sudden, there is an amazing opportunity for you to go out and help other people with their health. And there's that line, or maybe it's a whole song, I don't know, but it talks about 99 problems. And I laugh because, like, you can have 99 problems, but if health is one of those 99, you only have one. Right. When all of a sudden, I was talking to somebody the other day, they go, "Man, we got hit. My wife has cancer." And I was like, "Oh my gosh," like, I just wasn't expecting, them to say that on that phone call. But, like, you think about that. When that conversation happens, it's like nothing else matters, right? And what's going on in the news, what's going on in politics, what's going on overseas, what's going on with taxes or inflation or tariffs or your kids, right? None of that matters. None of the chaos of the daily life matters when all of a sudden health hits you right in the face. And our goal, I think, with Immunical and with what we're doing here is to make health a priority, not a problem. So I'm excited to have Fair and Stephanie on tonight to share from their backgrounds, just a little bit about themselves, a little bit about what they've been doing with Immunical, whether it's local market, whether it's on social, how they've had people respond to the product. Because I know that I've seen initially um, crazy, amazing response to this product. And I didn't know exactly how that was going to go, because it's a product that I'm used to kind of exciting products. And somebody said, well, Mike, Immunocal is super exciting. I said, yeah, but it has all this science. They go, hey, science can be sexy. And I was like, you know what? I think stability is the new sexy in the marketplace, knowing that you've got a company that has clean label products. They're constantly going to put the product first, the people first, the business second. I think I shared just with a few people at Stephanie's place today, like we're a biotech company first before we're a direct sales company. And I think that's why you see so many professionals, so many successful people, people that would never, ever, 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 ever consider network marketing, no matter how nice a car somebody has that they go to their home, no matter how big of a home, no matter how successful somebody else is, they don't look at it the way that maybe we look at it until they see a product like Immunical and a company like Immunotec. So Fair, I'm going to jump right in and chat with you first. So it's 9:10 p.m. We've got a lot to cover. We got people. They're putting a lot of comments down here about where they're from. I know you're from Florida, so give us the quick background, family. What have you done prior to Immunotec, and a little bit about your excitement about Immunotech. Then I'll dig into some questions.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you, Mike. Thanks for the introduction. Hi, guys. My name is Fair Montecalvo. I live just a couple hours north of Mike. I'm near the Tampa, Florida area. So I got a little sun today. We went boating this morning. I have been in the network marketing industry for almost 13 years now. So a long time in this industry. I've been with a couple different companies. My first one had a lot of success there. The next couple, I kind of dabbled, kind of did it more as a part-time thing. Thankfully, I was able to do that, after the success from the first one, just kind of not be so pressured into running so hard with the other ones. But I'll be 100% honest. When Mike approached me with this, I was like this close to like retiring from the industry. I was just like, I'm kind of tired. I'm old. I'm a lot older than a lot of you young kids. I was kind of tired of being all over social media, and I'm not joking. Like when Mike said, come to my house, I want to show you this opportunity. Plus we're having a birthday party. I was like, I'm going for the birthday party. But I'm open-minded, and I was like, I want to hear it out. And as soon as they started the slide, I was like blown away. I was like, oh crap, I'm definitely doing this, and I'm going all in. I have a background in health sciences. So literally I'm a nerd when it comes to health and the science behind it. So as soon as they started talking, I was like, oh my God, this presentation is for me, like directed at me. So I never have used my degree because the network marketing found me right after I got that degree. But I've always had that nerdy side of me where if you talk science and health and the human body to me, like I go all in. So when I started hearing about Immunocal and the Happy Pill, the Sunray Pill, and even just the super greens, like I was just like, oh my gosh, this is the company that was created for me, like with my name in mind. And so I couldn't help it. I literally that night at Mike's house, I was like, okay, how do I sign up? Like I was just so excited. And honestly, Mike said it, like the science behind it for me. In all my other businesses, they were geared towards weight loss, and you had to just really build trust, which I was able to do, and that's great. And we're all, going to be doing that same thing here. But it's even better when you not only are building the trust, but you have the science to back it. So you're like, trust me, the products work. That's what I've been saying for 12 years. Trust me, the products work. And again, enough people said, okay, I trust you. But now I say, trust me, the products work. Let me send you some research behind it. That is a game changer, because it's now not just trust Fair, it's trust me. But now look at all this science behind it that has been done for 40 years or whatever, 28, I think it's 40 years they've been researching these products. So now I have that to back me. So that is gold, you guys. Like use those studies, because I'm sending my voice memos, I'm being me, but then I'm backing it up with some studies to be like, look at this. And it has been a game changer. So I am very grateful to be here because the science is golden. It is next level.
I love it. I love it. Well, I remember when you guys came down and we were talking about the products, and Stephanie, you were at that party as well. So now full disclosure, like I could probably see Stephanie's office from my office right here. She lives next door to me. Maybe a couple houses down, but it's a really cool community that we live in. And Steph and her family and our family are great friends. And and Steph was part of a group that I was like, when we were evaluating the product, I'm like, I need you to test this for me, because Stephanie and her husband are super into fitness. They're super into health. They eat clean. And but they're also young and active and have kids, and kind of fall into the category that I do and Tiff. And when I was talking to Steph, I'm like, hey, I need your opinion, because Steph is, I don't know if you're technically a pickleball professional, or if
We're
you're 4.5 and you have to get 5 point. I'm not exactly sure. You can brag if you want to on here. I know you won a tournament last weekend, but Steph is awesome. She kicks my tail in pickleball, and it's ridiculous. So that will probably be filmed at some point. Maybe we'll do that for charity or something. But I tell you, Steph, you have been. I don't know if it's your first direct sales company, but I know that just in our conversations, you tried the product initially and you got excited about it, and that led to a lot more. So maybe tell us a little bit about your background, your life, what gets you excited. And obviously, we know how you found out about the product. I just shared that, but the kind of where you were in life with your passions, and then how you came to really like this and see this as a way that you could help other people.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you, Mike, for dropping the product off of my door and allowing me to try it. But my background is physical education. I taught PE for 14 years, coached multiple sports, did some other random things along the way. But I just love health. I love fitness, personal trainer. Um, and and I came across this, and I've been approached multiple times about doing multi-level marketing. And I've had some very interesting conversations, more that turned me off than on. And I swore I would never do it. I mean, and that's what I would tell them. I would say, all I want to do is tell people about Jesus, or I would say, I don't care about money. So those were just my responses. And then they didn't know what to do. And then they didn't talk to me anymore. So I was always very, very turned off by direct marketing. So when this came about, I had absolutely no, well, I would never do it. I was just trying a product. I didn't actually even look it up, see what it's about. And truthfully, I do have a background in not as extensive as Fair's, but I know I had to learn the word glutathione, but I had no clue what it was when I actually took the product. So I just took it, and literally after like 4 or 5 days, I was like, something's happening. And I totally forgot what I was doing, because it's so easy to do. It's like a quick little shake in the morning before I'd go work out. And then I started to realize, like, wow, my inflammation was down. Like my recovery time was better. My energy just stayed on a high level. I never really had this down coming down. And I was like, what the heck did he give me? And so I went to Mike's birthday. It was awesome. Great music, fair. I'm pretty sure we probably ran into each other there. You look super familiar. And I was like, Mauricio talked. He told a little bit about the company, showed the facts, and I am a geek on that stuff. And so I'm all about like the mic drop. So I feel like with this product, they were pretty much like, we've done the work. And one of my favorite things he said was, this product's never going to be cheap. And the reason he said that, or you're going to find it in a GNC or something like that, because of all the research they put into it. Like it is such a high level, and there's nothing out there like it. And so I that totally drew me in, because I think if, like, I'm at a stage of life, and I know a lot of people my age, we're kind of even seeking like these concierge doctors, or these, hormone specialists, or people to live in that optimum fitness level. And so I'm all about living at that optimum level. And I think that this product's for people that just want to be their best self. And so I absolutely love it. Totally bought into it and taking a team with me. So thanks,
I
Mike.
love it. That's a good point, because there is, when I was 25 years ago, I was a lot younger. And you weren't thinking the same things. You weren't looking for the same things. But now, we've got this huge group of people in their mid 30s to mid 50s. Let's just call it that, that, because I'm in that. And I don't want to go above that. I just want to stay in that. I don't even want to say 50s, but I'm not in the 50s, just for the record, 47, and a holding. But that's true, because a lot of us weren't looking for things earlier in life. You're looking for those quick, kind of fun, fad, exciting things. And listen, nothing wrong with that. I've sold a lot of products that I've used and I've liked, and they've had good benefits, but they didn't have the research, they didn't have the background, and then they didn't have the long-term results. And Fair, you said you've been in business before in direct sales, and one thing that gets me excited about this product is retention. So, because when people, it's not that this isn't an instant gratification product. We've got an instant gratification product just in this amazing energy booster or greens. And, a lot of people hear me talk about this. A lot of men hear me talk about how this has a nitric oxide effect. And we know the number one selling nitric oxide product in the world is Viagra. So, this is, a lot of men buy this product. So there's an instant, gratification, but it's not like we tell people, hey, we want you to take, this platinum product and the greens, and you're gonna lose 20 pounds in 30 days. Right. That's an instant gratification. What we tell people is, listen, you should research this. There's 79 patents, 92 published studies. This has a bunch of minerals in it. And people are like, minerals. Okay. What are minerals good for? Well, women are usually deficient in minerals. It's really good for hormonal optimum health. Like, that's not the way you talk to a 20-year-old necessarily, but the biggest buying power, at least in America, is us, right? It's us in our, in our mid 30s to mid 50s that not only, whether we have the money to spend or not, we spend it because we're looking to live optimal, because we know just enough about health to be dangerous. It's like we're experts at our own health, even though maybe sometimes we still take products that have stuff in them that aren't good for us. We're still looking for that edge. And Fair, maybe share what's been your experience, coming from a health background, coming from a network marketing background. I know you're an entrepreneur at heart, and you've done some cool things, but what is this from the business side done for, like, being able to talk to people at a different mentality, a different confidence level?
No, you just hit it honestly when you said like instant gratification. All my years and experience in this industry, I've always sold like weight loss products, instant gratification products, which is great. And again, when I was younger, it was, I was more vain about my health. I was doing it to be skinny. I was doing it to look good. And now at this age, I'm marketing it as preventative health, because at our ages, obviously the three of us are similar in age. I look at, I'm probably halfway done, so I'm probably more than halfway done. So I'm like, what can I take that's going to give me quantity or quality of life at this point? I might not make it a whole long time, but and so I'm kind of marketing it differently, and to, like you said, like a different level of people. I want those people that care about their health, that are doing things preventatively, rather than just the people that want an instant gratification, because as great as that is, and it's fun and you can see an instant result, that's great. They're not going to be long-term customers, and that doesn't build stability. And so, I had a lot of success in there, but my customers would turn over like crazy. And I'd rather get a different quality of customer at this stage in life, where we're doing the things daily. We don't want to just quick fix because we have a wedding to go to or a cruise to get on. And nothing wrong with that. Again, it happens, but I want that level of customer that's like, I want to do something that's going to give me better quantity and quality of life. Like, what can I take? And those are the people that I'm really talking to, is more of the health professionals, the people, the fitness professionals, the people that do eat clean, just a different level of clientele, which is going to build that stability, because they're going to continue purchasing rather than that fast turnover.
What confidence has it given you? I know for me, just talking to people, even you guys, I'll just use you both. It's like, yes, I have credibility with you because we're friends, and Tiffany obviously is friends with you guys. We know each other. Fair, we've worked together. Steph, we literally live a couple doors down, and your husband and I are friends, and so we know each other in the community. So you got credibility there, but at the same time, like, I don't necessarily go out into the marketplace and just start trying to sell products. I really wanted that confidence going into it. And I felt like I have that in a different level. Like, I almost can't describe to people the confidence that I have going into the market. I'm a confident guy, but having a confidence on the product, knowing what's behind it, knowing the 28 years, the 45 years of research, And just the impact that the products had in markets that are not, I mean, I'm sorry, they're much more healthier than the US, right? So you think about people are getting these wild results in Europe, in Colombia, in Mexico, markets that walk everywhere. They don't take the cars like we do. They don't eat all the junk that we have in our food that's forced down us, whether we know there's junk in it or not. And they're getting wild results. And it just knowing into the American market coming in, it gives me a big confidence. Have you noticed that in your business when you're sharing it with others, Fair?
Absolutely, because like you said, the studies. I mean, it's the research for me. It's again, because I've built some trust. We can build the trust, but if you've got the trust and now you've got the studies, it's a no-brainer. It's given me a whole nother level of confidence, and it's including to talk to people in the health field, in the fitness, field, stuff like that, where as I did before, but sometimes I felt a little fraudulent because I'm doing like a weight loss pill or whatever, something like that. Again, I loved those products, but you feel a little like, oh gosh, they might shoot. Stephanie said it. She would not even entertain it. And I talked to plenty of fitness professionals in the past, same way. Now I have a level of confidence where I'm like, look at this research to back it. Like this is legitimate. So yeah, it definitely gives me another level of confidence.
Well, and I love that. And Stephanie, like today, I'll just use today. I know you've got a lot of people you've launched very quickly, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But like today, you think about confidence and credibility, you obviously have a lot of following around pickleball, because that's huge in Florida. A lot of people up north or Nebraska or somewhere, they're like, what the heck's pickleball? What are we talking about here? Um, but it's a super popular sport. You've got a lot of relationships in that. You've built a lot of credibility in the community over the years. But what I find is cool is for somebody like you that said, I'm never going to do something like this. Why would I ever do anything like this? Like today, I'm not going to name names, but like, you had a very significant business owner over there. You had another lady who we're all friends with, like super into health, works out every day, super into fitness, does very well in business. You got another business owner that lives in our neighborhood. You've got a lady who they're basically over this private school in I think he's one of the ministers. And I go on and on and on. Like one of the ladies was a professional trainer. So like these are high end people in the community that many people would never go to talk to. And you were one of those people. You were like, I don't, hands off, not interested. But now, because we led with the product, because the product gave you results, you feel that confidence to go and talk to people. Maybe share a little bit about how you're talking to people, where are you finding them? Not, I mean, obviously you have a network from a standpoint of you have credibility, but maybe just share a little bit to give people some ideas on who they can talk to that they may not have thought about.
Right. So I just posted on Craigslist actually. And you, no, I'm totally kidding. Totally messing with
I
you.
was wondering where the heck you were going with that, honestly,
I'm
for a
just
second.
messing with you. No, truthfully, you're exactly right. I think for me, it's like when I talk, I'm going to talk about whatever I'm passionate about. So even like on social, obviously pickleball, I do love that. I love God. And now you got me drinking the Kool-Aid with Immunotec because I do believe in it. I see what it's done for me. I've seen the stories of other people. And now I've only been doing this a month, but one example, one of the first people that reached out to me from one of the posts I sent, like to me, this first of all has just had to be organic. I'm all about that. I'm not going to come stalk anyone. I just want it to be organic, but I think it's okay for me to put out what's working, what's going on in my world. People ask me all the time, hey, what do you do? And now I have a response. So for that, one of the first posts I made, I had a lady reach out to me and was like, I have stuff in my cart. What do I do? What do I push? And it was an amazing woman who has been involved in fitness forever. Her husband, is the huge orthopedic surgeon in town, and they have like 17 locations. They are amazing. They fixed most everyone in this community. And so she was just interested in trying the product. And so she tried the product, and I was like, keep me updated, because I just thought, wow, if she likes this product and it works, then not only do I feel it, I was just so excited for her to try it. And she did. And she's like, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So she's been about, I want to say 2.5, 3 weeks in. And she sent me a little message and she came today because she was actually just trying it. So she was just a customer. And she said, let's see here. Let me read this to you. Sorry, I need glasses. I've been taking glutathione lip. I don't know how to say that.
Liposomal probably.
Yeah, that's it. For many years, my doctor put it on me, and I will tell you, I have never felt like I do with this product. I have been taking this maybe a couple of weeks now, and immediately I felt a huge difference. So this stuff is amazing. I'm going to definitely switch to consultant. I think it's yeah. So that's basically what it was. But I was just blown away. It's like I don't even have to do the work. You know, the product is doing the work itself. And so that was just another confirmation for me that, wow, getting it in the hands of someone who has incredible influence in the community that's going to help reach many. Because I love the idea if we have something so good and we are able to reach many, like that's why we're here. So I love it.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. It makes me think when I hear, because you really care about people, you care about the results, and you can feel that authenticity when you talk to them. And you know, I think back over my career when Facebook really flourished and the live videos came out, and you know, the most viewed videos were people that were just hot messes, right? Like they didn't worry about the background. They were just off. They were their authentic selves. And like it is funny because I remember like the first month or two, I'm watching, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like better than reality TV. And but for some reason, like this person all of a sudden would sell tons of product. They would have all these people like, oh, I just love this person or that person. And I didn't get it. Like I just didn't get it. I'm like, I don't understand. This is weirding me out. And then I realized like it has nothing to do with what they're wearing, the fact that it's a hot mess, the fact that there's clothes on the ground in their kitchen or whatever, right? It didn't matter. It was, they're just being authentic. They were being themselves. And people are like, you know what? After COVID, like I just want to be myself. I care about different things. It was a different mentality, I think, coming out of that. And I think a lot of people kind of switched how they thought about things. I know Tiff and I did, and it's pretty interesting to see that. And you genuinely care. Like you're like, I want to know, and you follow up and you see how they're doing. And I think, you know, the people that are watching, you know, when you sell a product from Immunotech, follow up, see how they're doing, check in on them, because these are people that will buy these products. I believe you look at a 28-year-old company, the only way that you make it 28 years, there's two ways. Either a lot of people are reordering, or you have something so exciting that people are constantly buying. And I think when you look at Immunotech, you got a nice hybrid of that. You've got a very large group of people that continue to reorder. I talked to a guy named Doug in Canada last Thursday. I was out of town with Sophie, and he's been in the company 28 years. Company, how old is it? 28 years. And it was like, holy cow, like that's kind of crazy when you think about it. But then you look at product like Wims, right? I absolutely love this new kids product that comes out. I have the last box in my house. I believe Tiffany took, no, she took K21 from your house because our order hadn't got in yet from the company. I'm about out of this, but I kept this. My kids are stalking it. And, but I mean, they're continuing to bring out products that are clean label certified. People like them, they know them, they trust them. And, you know, fair, you got kids. I got kids. What is, you know, when you talk to other moms right now and you think about credibility and being authentic, what's some things you're sharing with people that are getting some, maybe some mom's attention, some dad's attention? I know I can speak from a dad, you know, just at lacrosse, you know, what I've done just sharing with people, but what have you done from your perspective to get some people interested?
Well, I'm super jealous because I don't have my whims still, so I haven't been able to share much about that. But I'm very excited when that happens. I'll be honest, I'm more of a team builder. I love the products. Again, I geek out on the science, but when you know what this industry can do for somebody, especially a mom, for me, I relate to that. I really push with the business, but so I won't go too far back. But back when I joined my first company, I was a single mom of four. I now have 6 children, so as a single mom of 4 back then, and when I tell you I was broke, I was broke. My life looked 100% different than it does today. So for me, I can't help but share my story as far as the
Mm.
business side of it. And that's really how I mean, if you go look at any of my social media, you see that I lead with the opportunity. It's just who I am, because I really want to impact moms in the sense of, you don't have to struggle. You don't have
Mm.
to. There's a lot of stay-at-home moms, which great. I'm so glad that their husbands are able to care for them, but they also deserve, an income that they don't have to leave their children for. So I always talk to moms about the business opportunity, because there are so many women, and mom, maybe you're not a mom and that's okay, but there are so many women that want another stream of income. They're on social media. Look at all the influencers out there, like, don't be afraid to reach out to one of them, because they have a huge following already. And maybe that's not them. Maybe they were like me and they had 300 old friends when they started. Somebody needs to hear the story. And if you don't have one yet, share somebody else's until you do, of that mom who changed her life. And for me, that's how I lead, because I want to genuinely help other moms who were in the predicament that I was in, that can now say, I've got 6 kids that I can afford. I can afford them. I'm not reliant on, I'm remarried, but so I want to share the opportunity, because it is life changing.
No, it absolutely is. And what's interesting is we've had many people. I know, Fair, you joined February, Stephanie, March, right? Okay, so Fair, you've had the opportunity to experience a February check, a March check, and what I found interesting, and I'm not asking you to share numbers or anything like that, but the reorder rate in March, anytime you're doing a pre-launch, normally you see a ramp up, and then a lot of times you see a little dip for 2 or 3, 4 months, and then you ramp it back up, and we didn't see that. We saw a very level playing field go up, and then people order the product. They like the product. They continue to share the product kind of naturally, and Tiffany sometimes, and I can say this because she's probably watching. I probably should make sure she's watching if I say this. But there are times that, I am not as active on social, personally, like out there pushing and getting people excited and do it, because I'm on the phones or I'm on Zooms or I'm working or I'm building out this really cool system on the Immunobar. We'll be talking about that soon. But, during the month of March, it was a lot of back end stuff that I was focusing on. And she said, I never forget it. She goes, Mike, I don't have obviously the Immunotec on the cup. She goes, we need to make this famous. That's literally, that's all she said. She goes, we need to make this famous. I'm like, all right, walk me through that. And she's like, every day. Maybe not, if it's not every day, it's every other day. If it's not every other day, it's once a week. She's like, it's just the consistency. You put it out there, others will put it out there. And collectively as a group, you need to show people how simple this body shot can be every single day, whether it's for the kids, whether it's for yourself, whether it's for your spouse. And what I think is very cool, Fair, is that, when we think about marketing, we think about positioning, we think about branding and the opportunity, just sharing that a simple body shot every day, just shaking it and talking about your life. But that visual, people are like, what the heck is that? Right? It's this curiosity that builds up. And we know curiosity helps sell, the conversation. Go ahead, Fair.
Sorry, I couldn't find my mute button for that for a minute. Yeah, absolutely. We call it attraction marketing, curiosity, stuff like that. But literally, you don't have to overcomplicate it. You don't have to make like this great reel. You can literally go live in your stories, like Mike was saying. Just shaking a shaker, and it's small, so it doesn't look like a protein shake. People will ask questions. Just creating that curiosity and be like, this product has been a game changer for me. It's crazy, the science behind it. It's a cellular thing. Like, you don't even have to know what you're talking about. Again, just use the studies. But I love that, because just the consistency of using that product every single day in your stories, on your posts, do a reel. It doesn't have to be phenomenal. Maybe you're scared of that and you've never done one. Go live while you're making it. And you don't even have to be scientific sounding. You can just be like, this product every day without fail, I'm taking it, and share your testimony, whatever that is. For me, I'm a runner. So I have noticed that my recovery time, like, I'm older, like I said, so my knees sometimes after a long run, 5 mile run, 6 mile run, my knees get a little shoddy. And that's something I've been able to share with my running friends, is like, my knees, I haven't had a day in 2-3 months now where I've had to sit out because of my knees. So just share your test, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe it's helped your back, maybe it's helped, who knows. Share that testimony, do it every single day. Consistency is the key. And I agree with Tiff. We need to make this product a household product. Every person in every home, from children up, should be taking the product.
I love it. And everybody hates you right now because you can run 5 miles without stopping. At least I do. I don't even can't comprehend that. When the guy at the gym says, "Hey, go run the lap," which is like, I don't know. It's not even. It's like so short. I walk to like the end of the driveway and back as my break just to get my breath. So 5 miles, I can't think about it. But you know what? That's what's cool is that people like you think about it. How many other people are runners? How many people are not runners, like me, but we're both getting a great positive benefit from the product. Steph, I'm going to jump down to you and I want to talk. Not fair. I'm going to come back to you one more time before we close it out after I talk to Steph here. But so Steph, you've grown, you joined in March. It's April, was it 7th, 8th, something like that. Well, did you join mid-month? You join early in the month? I don't remember.
Mid-month.
Mid-month. Okay. So you've been in like 3 weeks into the business. You've had a ton of success because, I'm a big believer. You can build any business you want methodically and slowly, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think in direct sales, and I would consider myself one of those people that, and not just a talker about it, not just because I've been in the industry for a long time, but we've had crazy success as field leaders, crazy success in the corporate owners. I've seen all walks of life, so I know a thing or two about this business. So like when I look at it and I see certain things, like it's not really my opinion as much it is just fact backs it up. And this business loves speed. It absolutely loves speed. It loves when you can focus on it for these intense moments of time. And when I think about, I'm going to say some things that are probably some people are going to be like, what? There's no way I could do that. Well, if you say that, then no, you probably can't, right? So you got to think that you can, right? And I don't want to use all the Tony Robbins analogies tonight. That's not what this is about. But there is a lot to be said that if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And when I look at this business, I think, okay, everybody should join as a venture, right? You need the products. You need to be able to get them out there. If you take, I don't have a picture of it in front of me tonight, and I've not planned this. I'm just kind of off the cuff at the moment. But I did the math a couple days ago. And if you purchase the 549, the 2,000 point pack, and you take, I think it's just, I can't remember how many greens you get or orange or whatever, but if you take just enough of those and you mix it with a Immunocal, you get about 60 shots, 60 body shots. You get a lot more than that, but that's 60 complete shots that people can try with a good flavor with the greens and the reds or the orange energy. So like 60. Well, I can tell you this, what I've found locally is that people will pay for that. People will pay upwards of $10 to get a fantastic experience, knowing they're getting, 9-10 grams of protein. They're getting these organic fruits and vegetables. They're trying this 79 patented 92 study product, especially if they try the orange product. If they try that, they will pay for it. A lot of times people say, I remember in 2011, there was a product that I just thought for sure you had to give away. And all of a sudden people were charging $25 for people to try it. And so people will pay if you show them the value. And what I find interesting is that as you think about speed, you need products that people can buy from you. So you can replenish your investment, 549 with 60 shots, $10 a piece, very quickly. And I'm going to go out on the limb and say that every single person on this Zoom, those of you that are watching the replay, you should go silver. That's 6,000 points. You should do that in 6 days or less. Like you just should. And you go, well, how's that possible, Mike? Well, it's 3 people that just want to go out and get their money back, right? That's not even a business yet. That's just 3 people saying yes. That's 3 people that enroll and you're instantly silver. You enroll your venture. 3 people enroll, you're instantly a silver. So you think about, well, maybe I'm not that good a recruiter. Okay, well, if you are joining a business and you go out to move your products and share these body shots and share the science and all the things that Fair and Stephanie have shared tonight, and others on previous calls, you're going to have interest, but you've got to take the action to get into the marketplace. $600 in cash tips, right, back to you is a fantastic way to make your money back. So silver should be quick. Gold, like I just looking at gold, I did some quick math. Like if you go out and get 3 people to say, yes, I want to go set up my own immunobar, right? I want to go do this and share these body shots. 12 more enrollments, you're gold, right? Gold is only about 7 or 8,000 in actual sales. 30,000 points is just for qualification, right? Nobody's $30,000 isn't changing hands, right? 7 or 8,000 actual in sales is changing hands. You just happen to get qualification points. I believe most of you need to think bigger, think faster, think speed. And Stephanie, I'm gonna jump to you on that because like you got involved and you're like, all right, never done this. What do I do? And we just said, hey, here's kind of the path. And you've moved the products, you've enrolled people, but you've not, like you said, you've not bugged people. It's not been uncomfortable. You've not put yourself in situations where you had to go talk to strangers, but you did talk to people. You just in your daily life. Maybe walk us through a little bit about how you've taken this from, I'm just trying a product because a neighbor asked me to getting started and then quickly incorporating it into your life.
Yeah, sure. I mean, definitely social media has been a huge help. I've had so many people reach out to me because they're seeing what I'm doing on social media. And I will say I've done some ridiculous reels. I've juggled a cup and kicked it in the air, but I love making videos. So this is like, wow, this is so fun. I can do this
I
for
still think that's photoshopped. I don't know how you did that.
I'll
It
do it
doesn't make
right
any
now if
sense
you
to me.
want me to. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I just being your authentic self. You guys said it best in front of people, and it's just given me opportunity to talk to people. One of the things that I've been telling my team of people who actually they're like interested in the product at first. These are some of my best friends. And they're like, well, I'm not really a salesperson. I'm like, neither am I. I never thought I'd be doing this. But then I've posted a couple more videos and they're like, I had 4 people come up to me and ask me what you're doing, Stephanie. I'm like, well, you tell them and sign them up. And so the message is growing. And the
Mm,
more um I told Mike that it's just camaraderie. Everyone wants to be part of a community, a part of a team, and this is the opportunity to be part of something so great that can change
mm.
people's lives. So I feel very comfortable posting a video. And I would say this, there are people on my team that one is very aggressive, loves posting videos. She's a personal trainer at the local gym that Mike goes to, and it's so fun with her. And then I have other people on my team that are a little more shy to it. And I found that if I do a reel with them or do a post with them or a story with them, it is exactly what they need to get started.
Mm.
The other thing that I found that was super helpful is when I had people come to my join the team, I would write join the team if you see my Instagram or my Facebook. And then it just had a picture of them or them with their family if they felt more comfortable. And then I did a little fun fact, just like a get to know them. And then I just wrote something up about them that they didn't know I was even going to post. And then that way it was really easy for them to share it on their page, kind of like not, hey, I'm in the direct marketing world, but it was just a really nice introduction for
Yeah.
them to be like, oh yeah, and then people that ask about it. So I think that was super beneficial to my team as far as putting out that welcome.
Mm.
Super easy to do. The Canva app, there's probably other great ones as well, but it took hardly any time. They felt important, they felt special, they feel like they're part of the team, and I highly recommend that.
I love that. I'll just reiterate 2 things I heard Stephanie say that I thought I think they're very smart. Number one, take the time to recognize people just for buying your products, just for saying yes to join the team. Like, I mean, I'm no expert at Canva, but I've made images and sent them to people. Like they're simple things that you can do on your phone, and I think that taking that time, as much as you may think, oh, does that really matter? It matters. right? It matters now more than ever. People want the authenticity, and and not to go off on this whole AI rant, but AI is real, right? Like you can literally go, "Hey Siri," and there she is, right? She's ready to answer anything I need. And if she doesn't know it, she's going to say, "Do you want to look up chat? Do you want Chat GPT to do it?" Right? And that's full blown AI. And you can use AI to do so many things. I mean, crazy stuff. We were talking about that the other day, and it's going to be great. But I also think it's going to drive people. Brandon Walsh and I were talking about this because, like, literally, I could be doing a Zoom right now, and Fair could be an AI person, and Stephanie could be an AI person, and they could not even be here, and nobody would, it, but maybe some people wouldn't know it. Like it's became so crazy in our communities. I think people are going to want to just really come from the AI online world to going, they want to buy from people they know, they like, and they trust, right? And I think that's the likability, that the things that you're talking about here, Steph, is you're taking the time. I'm going to do a picture with them. I'm going to get in their kitchen or get in the gym. Or you don't have to be anywhere fancy. You don't have to have a nice kitchen or a bad kitchen. You got to be somewhere, and you're mixing up a shot with them, and you're filming it, and you're putting it up because they feel that community and that camaraderie. I think those are two really good things. When somebody buys from you, joins with you, obviously recognition, if they hit a rank, but just taking that extra time to do that, I think that's brilliant. And then partnering with them to do some fun social media stuff. I know you guys did that today, and somehow you made me hold the camera, and I had to film, which was hilarious. But when my wife jumps in the conga line, I take the camera because I would rather have behind the camera than in the conga line. So I think what you're doing, Steph, you're having a lot of fun. You're leading by example, and keep doing it. I love that you're having the success you're having in the local market, and I think the market can feel it, and that's that rising tides lifting all ships. So Fair, I love seeing what you're doing on social, and how you're impacting your family and other people. Because so you said something earlier tonight that made me just go, that's where I come from. And that is, it's about the business. It's about the life change. It's about the opportunity. Um, I think I told somebody, I think it was maybe earlier today or yesterday, that for years, I never talked about the products, in network marketing. I just talked about the money that you can make, because the product could be water, air, nutritional. It didn't matter to me personally. It mattered, but didn't matter to me. I just knew that if we could move product and we had a compensation plan that would pay, that there was an opportunity to make money, and I wanted to help people make money. And I love that that's an angle that you take. And obviously you got an amazing product and everything here with Immunotec, but you're impacting a lot of people's lives doing that. But how important is consistency, right? Because so many people watching right now, Stephanie's coming from a newbie, for lack of a better term, in this business, and you've been around the industry for a long time. But I think both of you are very consistent in how you lead and what you do. I know, like I just saw Brittany, she came on a comment and made a comment on something you said earlier, and Brittany's like super consistent every day, social media, documenting. But in addition to social, she's on Zooms, she's texting, she's on emails, she's on calls. How important is consistency? That's the last question. Then I'll go to each of you for a final comment. But how important is consistency, showing people that, you're in the business, and, leading by example?
It is the most important thing, hands down. So my husband and I, at one point, we owned a brick and mortar business. My husband's a black belt in jujitsu, and he's a jujitsu instructor, and we had a physical gym. How do you think things would go if we just weren't feeling up to it one day, or we didn't have our hair done, or whatever the excuse is that day, where we're like, we're just not going to go to the gym today. We're just going to leave the clothes sign on and hope that people still come and join the next day when we do feel like reopening. You guys already know the answer. We would shut down in a heartbeat. So I always have looked at my social media business, my online business, the exact same way as any brick and mortar business. You are an entrepreneur. This is the business. If your open sign is not on daily, they will go to someone else who is. So there are other people selling products, selling opportunities, that if your open sign's not on, they're going to run to them. Brittany is great at it. I mean, she posts every single day, many times a day. She's super consistent. That's why Brittany is the top enroller, because people know that Brittany's open sign is on every single day, even if she's not feeling up to it, even if it's Sunday or whatever, so you just have to get in the mindset of this is my business. This is what is going to make my family money. This is my business. And you just have to turn your open sign every single day, even if it's, I mean, I know life is crazy and now we have multiple businesses. So I can't tell you that every day I devote all my time to Immunotec, but I promise you, I'm going to put something out there that so that that the social media world knows, or even in person, I'm going to say something to the people I talk to on a daily basis that I'm still in business. Yes, I have multiple, and maybe you have a job where you're like, well, that sounds great, Fair, but I only have 15 minutes on my lunch break. Perfect. Use those 15 minutes very wisely. Take a bite of your food and do your body shot and post about it, because and if you have to lay in bed and make your post the night before and save it in your notepad to copy paste whatever, do it, because you have to have your open sign on or they're going to find someone else that does.
I love it. I love it. Fair. I'm gonna come right back to you and just say, all right, final comments. We've got there's probably a lot of newbies on here, a lot of people that are not yet silver, not yet gold. They just heard me say you need to be going silver in like 6 days, and you need to be gold your first month. They're like, oh my gosh, I didn't do that. What's something you could share with them? Final comment before we close out the call that could help them just go, okay, it's Monday the 7th, starting tonight, because I never want to say starting tomorrow because that's just procrastination. Starting tonight, here's what I'm going to do. Like, what's that edge that you can give them to go out and take some action?
Well, if you're a newbie, you probably are like, well, that also sounds great, but I don't have a huge network. I want you to work on your warm network. I want you to get comfortable either picking up the phone, which I know, again, we're in a weird AI world where they're like, oh no, I want Chat GPT to make my text for me. No, I want you to pick up the phone and call your warm market, your friends, the people you work out with, the people you work with, your sisters, your brothers, your cousins, whoever, and be like, listen, I know this might sound crazy, but I'm doing this thing and the product has changed my life and I'm so excited. And just at least get them to say yes to a sample or something. Like, just get them to support you in whatever that looks like for them. Because if you get a couple yeses in the beginning, it makes it so much fun, so much easier. But if you stay paralyzed in fear and you do absolutely nothing, you're not going to go gold or silver fast. So you have to start taking action. You have to take action, and you have to take bold action. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. So whether that's a phone call or you need to do a voice recording on Facebook because you're a little intimidated by the thought of like going back and forth, do that. Send a voicemail or a voice memo on Facebook and just be like, hey sis, I'm doing this thing now. You might think I'm crazy, but I'm super excited about it. Would you be willing to try what the product for me as one of my first, so I can have your honest testimony? Like, it can be that simple, that cut and dry. That will get you closer to silver or gold. And once you get more comfortable doing that over and over, it's going to become so easy.
I love it. A lot of times we don't like to think we're salespeople, but we do move product. We do sell product. And you said something that's interesting. Get them to say yes, and that's like one of the one of the first things you learn if you go to traditional sales training. And just for the record, I've never done traditional sales training, but yeah, I've studied it. And I look at it and I see what works, what doesn't work, what I think is stupid, and then how I would, improve it to kind of hone in on this world. But one of the first things that they teach is, get a yes. Ask a question that gets you a yes. Don't ask a question that you don't already know the answer to, right? Ask a question that you're going to get a yes. Like, and it could be such an obvious question. It doesn't matter. It's like, have you ever been to the Gulf of Mexico, right? Or now the Gulf of America, whatever we're calling it, right? Have you ever been to the Gulf? Have you ever been to the ocean? Yes. Okay, because they live on the ocean, right? They live in Florida. Like, just get a yes. Ask them, have you interested in, your health? You see all this stuff about healthy stuff on TV now? Yes. Do you think red dyes are bad? Yes. Have you ever heard of glutathione? No. What's that? But it's a curious no. Like, what's glutathione? Yeah, I hadn't heard of it either, but I Googled it the other day and it's pretty interesting. If you want to know more, let me know sometime. And sometimes it's just that curiosity that you're building up. It's just getting a yes. Ask them a question that gets them to say yes to something. So now they're engaged. Don't tell them things, right? That's one of the biggest mistakes people do in direct sales. They show up to their friend's house and they go, oh my gosh, let me tell you about this product that you need to get your kids on. You need to get your husband on because he's, you know what I mean? It's like, oh my gosh. It's nuts. Like, don't do that, right? Ask them a question, build their curiosity up, and you're going to find that, I mean, it could be something as easy, and I'm not doing a training call tonight because this is like basic stuff, but it could be as easy like, did you eat 47 salads yesterday? Like, and you can almost ask it as a joke, and they're like, no, we're like, I did. And they're like, what's that? Right? That's their natural question. Like, they're not going to do it. And you can have fun with it. You can just, you can rip it. I did, and be pouring it in your water. People want to know things. Curiosity, creates conversation. Steph, let's jump to you. Kind of a final comment, everybody. Somebody that's new. You've got a lot of new team members that got started. Obviously, we're getting people started on their, I call it the silver shortcut. It's that 2000 PV pack. And they're going for silver, getting 3 other people to say yes. We're going to be introducing a presentation, by the way, just so everybody knows, company wide, to anybody who wants to use it. I think it'll be the fastest way to success in this business. We've really modeled it out. We've been testing some things, and it's so simple. And you can do it local, you can do it global through Zoom, or you can do it social, live on social media. And it's all about just demonstrating this body shop concept and people experiencing it for themselves. Because I can tell you, when you mix the product for somebody and you shake it in front of them, they see the liquid, they try it, and they know what they're putting in, the protein, the ingredients, the energy, everything that's happening, they value it a lot. And if you can take it, whether it's through Zoom and I'm in my kitchen, or if I have 4 or 5 people over at my house, or if I'm at a gym, or if I'm in a doctor's office, or if wherever, school, cafeteria with some people after class, maybe it's a teacher's workroom, doesn't matter. Anywhere that there's people getting together, it's amazing what you can do with a simple immunobar, and we're going to be talking about that. But Steph, what could you share with new people getting started? Maybe just a couple things that you're doing, or that maybe you're doing this week, right? You're new. So I'm not expecting you to be an expert at this business. Nobody's an expert. We're always learning. But what are some things maybe you're doing the rest of this week that you're going to be sharing with other people about Immunotech?
Yeah, well, for sure, fair. Even listening to you, I'm learning. So thank you for all the knowledge I've just learned on this call, actually. But I think that you said being bold. I think that's it. I think building up the confidence of yourself, for yourself and of your team, and that you will remind yourself like you believe in this product, like you're taking it, you're getting results, you love it. So just even reminding yourself what it's doing for you, and then and building up your team's confidence as well. Today I have no idea what I'm doing. All right. I've never done this stuff before. And thankfully I have Mike and Tiff on speed dial. But I was just like, I'm a coach. That's like my background. So I'm like, okay, I'll just have the team over and we'll talk. And if they have questions, I'll help answer them, and I'll get some tea and coffee and we'll have some treats. It'll be fun, right? And we'll make some videos. And so when they were coming over, like my intentions were, I'm just going to answer what they have. I'm going to let them get to know each other, build that camaraderie with each other. But in the meantime, what has really helped me be confident is learning what glutathione is and what NAC is and what it does for your body. And so I've geeked out on YouTube. I've been watching tons of stuff, even if it's just shorts, and just really understanding the product and what it actually does. I think we can be so much more confident when we understand what we're taking. And yes, Immunotec has done a phenomenal job of providing us with videos and content, which we should watch, and the clinical studies that are like 120 something pages long. But also, if we can get that in us, it's almost like that elevator pitch, because it's someone's going to ask me what I'm doing, or someone's going to say, how are you feeling? And I'm going to say, I'm great. Things are awesome. They're going to ask me maybe about pickle, tournament I did or however, but I'm going to have that in my back pocket, what glutathione is and what it's doing for me. And, there's been so many little key things that Mike, you've said along the way of like, glutathione acts in your body almost like the sticky paper and the bugs stick to it, getting all the bad stuff, and that it's in all of your cells. And so there also on the website, or that I thought was really helpful, is they use the word idea, and they break it down in one of the videos of what glutathione actually does, your immunity, detoxification. Hopefully I get it all right now. I don't know.
Energy.
Energy, energy and antioxidants. Yes. So just having those little things in your back pocket and then sharing them with your team. So I've had some common questions being asked to me, which I don't know the answers because, like I said, I've never done this before. But I'm like, oh, two people asked me that, three people. So I just have in my notes just kind of like a running thing going that I can keep for myself, but also to share with my team. So I put my team on a group text. When I add someone, I add them in, and then I just kind of have this running thing going. But like I said, I'm new and I'm open to any ideas. I love and one thing I would recommend is being active on the Immunotec Facebook page. There's so much information on there. And I've just kind of really discovered that myself. So the resources are there. So to me, I feel like there's a lot of longevity in this product and in this company. And yeah, this is gonna be fun.
I love it. Stephanie, thanks for joining me tonight. Fair, thank you for joining me. I love what Mick just said. Mick's been in network marketing for probably as long as I have, and he's a professional. He said this was excellent teaching, great job. And obviously Rhonda and Darren and others are a lot of people are commenting now, but it was cool. Mick, welcome back from Hawaii. Glad to see you back. Thank you guys for being on tonight. Everybody, will post this recording in the Immunotech Pro Facebook page. Brandon and Denise are on a vacation right now in Siesta Key, which is like 20 minutes from us, 30 minutes from us. So they're down here, but they're behind the scenes having some fun with their kiddos this week. But we'll make sure we get this posted. I'm on the Facebook group again. Fair, awesome, love it. Stephanie, awesome, and you guys are crushing it. Take this information, everybody, and put it into action tonight. Put it into action tomorrow. Whenever you can put things into action. That's one thing I love what Fair said. If you have 5 minutes, take 2 of those 5 and build your business. If you have 50 minutes, maybe take 20 minutes. Whatever you can do, do. All you can do is all you can do. All you can do is enough. So thanks, everybody. Have a great night. We'll talk to you later this week. Talk to you soon. Have a good one.